Welcome to Duolingo Preparation Made Easy Week 2 Day 4 and the trainer is Miss Shruti. Now these are some of the basic instruction for the participant. Make sure you have a stable internet connection and a noise-free environment. We recommend you to use your earphone for the best experience. Your cameras and microphones are turned off, so in case you have any query, you can drop it in the chat box and we will be answering them. Participate actively and stay on topic. Respect your instructor, your classmate, and yourself. Be respectful and professional. Now, we also have the membership. So, as you register yourself on the site, you are upgraded to bronze member for free. If you wish to go for silver, you will get 2-week Duolingo classes, comprehensive IELTS GRA, UShore Pro University recommendation, and a free 100-hour GRA courses. If you wish to go for gold, you will get 2-week Duolingo classes, one-on-one Duolingo IELTS, comprehensive IELTS GRA, dedicated counselor for entire application, statement of purpose, letter of recommendation, and visa. We also have a free profile evaluation with our expert, which consists of comprehensive evaluation, university shortlisting, course recommendation, country recommendation, recommendation report, and a doubt clearance. So you will get a detailed report with suitable recommendation customized for your profile and requirement, and you can clarify your doubt regarding the study abroad process. So we also provide free GRA class Monday to Friday, 8:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. And it's a 2-month course. So guys, please enroll. Go to your name and then my test preparation. So you will land on this page, Duolingo English Comprehensive Live Classes. Click on View Courses and you will get this. Go to Reading and Speaking Week 2, Speaking Day 2, Handouts. And these are the handouts for the session. And for previous day recording, you go to day 1, scroll down a little. Click here, day 1, recording 13 September 2023. So you can access it from here. I will be sharing all the links in the chat box. So you can also access these from there also.
I'll share my screen now. So guys, today is our last second session before we complete our Duolingo whole complete cycle. Okay, so today is the last question type that we are going to discuss, because tomorrow we'll have a run through of all the question types that we have discussed this week. Okay, so yeah, what are we going to discuss today, guys? As I have told you, we have two main writing tasks here, two speaking tasks here. One is to speak about the photo, and the other one is to speak about a scenario where you will be given a topic to talk about and you have to talk about it. Okay, so we'll be talking about three main questions. One is where you have to, they'll be giving you a question, you have to read the question, understand it, and then speak about it. Okay, and the other one is listen then speak. What does that mean? They'll give you an audio. Okay, the question is in the audio. You play the audio, you listen to it, and then answer. So here, it's the same topic, it's the same way of answering. It's the same kind of questions that you would get, but the only difference is that it's in the audio form. So they are trying to check how good you are at listening and understanding. Okay, because some people might be good at reading and understanding, but they might have some trouble with comprehend the information present in an audio, right? And the last one is the speaking sample, which is usually the question where you'll be given 3 minutes to talk about. It is going to be a similar question to this, but this will be sent to your university as a sample of your speaking. Okay, this is important. Previously it was not evaluated. This the scoring of this particular question was not a part of your Duolingo score, but since this particular question is completely added to your Duolingo score. Okay, it is also evaluated, and at the same time it is also sent to the university as a sample of your speaking. So make sure that you do perform well in this. But the underlying concept is these three might sound like three different questions, but the concept is going to be same. Okay, the topics are going to be similar. Now let's get there. Okay, so first we'll talk about read, listen, speak, everything. Okay, all the three kinds of question where you have to read and speak, listen and speak, all the types. Now So as I told you, there are only two speaking questions. First one is about how you will be describing a picture, which we have done yesterday, and I hope you all are well versed with it. And we've discussed a lot of tips and tricks and strategies to solve it. Okay. Now the other one which we are going to discuss today is you're going to get three independent speaking tasks, as I told you. Two of them, which is the speaking sample, and read and speak. Okay, in this both questions, a question will be showed to you on the screen and you have to speak about it. The only difference is that in this particular first question you will be given 90 seconds to speak about it, whereas the second one you will be getting 3 minutes to speak about it. Okay, double the time of the first question, so you will have a lot of time to talk about, and as this will be sent to your university for evaluation, you need to speak as much as possible. Okay, now so here so all these three speaking tasks should be answered in the same way. Okay, so this is how the question is going to look in the examination if it's a written prompt, which is if it's a speaking sample question or if it's a read and speak question. This is how it's going to be. You will be getting a 20-second preparation time. Okay, so during this preparation time, there is no record now button. Once this 20 seconds is done, you will be able to record your answer. Okay, in this particular question where you have to read and speak type, the question is displayed in this words in a box on the screen. Cool. Now let's look at the other question type. Okay, so this is how. So once you start recording your answers, once your 20 seconds of your preparation time is done and you click on the record now button, your 90 seconds of answering will be started. Okay, and you will be able to record your answer. So minimum of 30 seconds of speaking is what they'll be expecting, but anything more than 60 seconds, just like yesterday, will give you a really good score. Okay, yes. So here the other type of question, which is listen and speak, where I told you there will be an audio. The question is in the audio format. The question, you have to listen to the question and speak about it. So if you see, you will be getting a replace of 2. Okay, so overall you can listen to the question 3 times and then you can talk about it. Cool. Yes. Now some important questions to remember in the question type where your question is in the audio form. Make sure that you listen to the questions carefully, because if the question is continuously displayed on your screen, you will be able to come back to the question even if you're getting off track. But if it's an audio question, okay, you might get distracted from the topic because it's not displayed on the screen. So make sure that you listen to the audio properly and answer accordingly. Okay, so so this particular question type where the question is in the audio format, as I told you, you will be evaluated on your listening and speaking skills. So make sure that you're sticking to the topic that is given to you. Okay, do not get distracted, and you can replay the audio for overall 3 times. Okay, now some tips to answer are, okay, if you look at this, guys, this is the question type. Okay, this is the main topic. Talk about a book you read recently. So this is the main question, whereas what are the sub questions? So there are these follow-up questions which will help you to stay on track about what you want to talk. Okay, so they are expecting you to talk about the title and what the book is about and how did you first hear of it and what did you like or dislike about it. So it's not just a question, you see, they're also telling the sub questions, what all you can speak about the book. So make sure that you talk about each and every sub question that is given to you. Okay, so what will happen in this way? Here you're not just evaluated on your speaking skills, you are evaluated on how well you are answering for the questions given to you, how well you are sticking to the topic that is given to you, right? Yes. So, okay, and answer the questions and then expand on your answers. This is a very important point. What does this mean? Okay, if I ask you what is your favorite book, you tell, okay, my favorite book is this, and the author of this book is this person, right? So this will help you to expand on your answers. Okay, if I and you can also tell about the opinion, and this is my favorite book because it talks about the principles of life which would help our life make easier, become easier, right? So try expanding your answers, and there are other ways of expanding, such as you can also express your opinions. Why do you think? How does the concepts expressed in the book match your opinions? Whatever it is, whatever the topic. If the topic is about globalization, or if the topic is about poverty, you can also express your opinions and elaborate. You can also use examples. You can also try elaborating it with your experiences, as long as you're sticking to the topic and answering. See, a simple way that I would try to tell is, see, the way of answering is, what was it about? Okay, the book is about maintaining habits, like developing habits. Okay, and then you can elaborate on it. The book has tiny principles which will help us to uh, develop new habits and let go of old habits, right? So I'm telling about the same thing. The book is about habits, right? But here, how am I elaborating it? I'm elaborating by giving an explanation about what is about. We've done this. You're emphasizing, you're giving an explanation of everything. Let's explain everything. Okay, so if you ask me, what if you ask me, what is this? This is a bottle. But if you want to elaborate on the answer, I would say, this is a plastic bottle that I bought from the store that is close to my house, and it is my favorite bottle because my favorite color is green. You got it? So I just expanded, elaborated everything about it, right? And in my opinion, glass bottles are better, because they help us to recycle them. It is going to help us in the environmental protection, everything. So you have to create your own elaboration while answering to the questions, right? So that's the easy way of doing it, to keep yourself on track. Now, okay, so talking for 90 seconds with the given questions will be easier, because you know what to talk about. Take one question, answer on it for 15 seconds. Okay, and take the second follow-up question and talk about it for 50 seconds. So if in this way also, you will be able to talk for minimum of 60 seconds. That's great, isn't it? If you can slow down your pace, you can actually reach out to 70 seconds. So make sure that you follow the sequence of the questions also, which will help you not miss out on a question. Now, another tip is to answer and elaborate on them. Now, let's look at this example, okay, that I've given to you. Talk about, okay, yeah, talk about a book you read recently, and let's look at the sub questions. What was the title? What was it about? How did you first hear of it, and what did you like or dislike about it? Now let's try how it is, like, how you can talk about with an ideal answer. A book that I've read recently, okay, was Surely You're Joking, Mr. Feynman. Guys, by the famous physicist Richard Feynman. Okay, now this is the first sentence. Did you see what they were asking? The main question was, talk about a book you read recently. So you should be talking about the book. The first question was, what was the title? Here you just can't say the title of the book I read is this. No, you can't, right? Like, you can say that, but you should also have the title of the book that I read is The Atomic Habits. And you can also expand it by telling about the writer. Okay, so look at the way here we have showed our ability to use by using this. A book that I've read recently was called Surely You Are Joking, Mr. Feynman, by the famous. See, here I'm adding an adjective here. By the famous physicist Richard Feynman. Try using adjectives and adverbs to emphasize on what you're talking about. That gives you an elaborated explanation about everything that you're talking about. Okay. And I'm not just telling about the title, I'm also giving an insight into what the book is about. This book is a collection of personal stories, both hilarious and thought provoking, from Richard Feynman's life. Just like for the atomic books example, I've given you some answers, right? Such as this book talks about how to let go of the old habits and how to implement new habits and get and stick to them, right? You're also telling about what that book contains. So if you can clearly see, the sentences in green are how I am trying to elaborate, but while answering the question that they gave. Okay, try sticking to that. Now, So if I ask you then again, what was it about? So here, when I already answered that the book is about personal stories, both hilarious and thought provoking. Now the follow-up question is again asking what was it about? So it means that you need to elaborate more. So what I'll do in this case, when I was asked to elaborate more, I'll dig in deeper. I'll try to give some examples or some opinions of mine, or I'll also talk about something that actually has happened in that, right? So if you see this, the book is mainly about the life lessons that Dr. Feynman learned in his amazing life. For instance, to do things that you love as best as you can. So this is a concept that they have told in this book, right? Now, as this book is a collection of stories from his life rather than a novel, it doesn't really have a plot. So each chapter covers one important part of his life, such as his time at the university or the time he met Albert Einstein. So guys, look at this particular point here. You are trying to give an example. Okay, if you so how are we elaborating? First we gave an insight that this book is everything about life lessons of Dr. Feynman in his life. Okay, and here we are giving an example again. For instance, to do things that you love as best as you can. So this is one of the life lesson of Dr. Feynman, and we gave the example right here to elaborate the answer, right? Now, and we also told that this book is a collection of stories. We are repeating the same point that we have told earlier because it is a speaking task, right? It's not a writing task where you can't repeat your sentences. But when you're trying to repeat, try understanding how you are repeating. Don't repeat the same sentence. Why are you repeating? Because you're trying to add a different point to the same sentence, right? So, as this book is a collection of stories from his life rather than a novel, it doesn't really have a plot. Okay, each chapter covers one important part of his life, such as his time at the university or the time he met Albert Einstein. And here comes how do we add an opinion? Which, in my opinion, was the most fascinating chapter, right? You can also elaborate by telling your own opinion. Okay, so if I have to tell the same thing about atomic habits book, how would I tell? Okay, so the book mainly is about, we have already told, it's about building habits and breaking bad habits. So for instance, how do you make sure that you get up early in the morning? By setting up a plan of what to do in the morning has to be decided the previous night. So see, I questioned myself and I gave an example of it right directly posted. Right. So this book also has proven methods of techniques that people can use and evolve their habits. So here you are trying to add points from whatever you can use to elaborate on the topic. See, whatever I'm talking about, I'm only talking about the book here, because here the question was about the book. Talk about the book, right? Speak about the book. So whatever I'm speaking, I'm only speaking about the book. I can't go away from the topic and speak about Einstein. Here I'm speaking about the time that he met Einstein, which is also a part of this particular book alone, right? So make sure that you stick to the conversation. Now, there's another tip, which is to use transition words. Okay, transition words are the words which helps you to have a free flow of conversation from one sentence to another sentence, one topic to another topic, one point to another point, without actually feeling that you are breaking two different things, right? Suppose if I tell you that I will be giving you few examples of atomic habits, then I'll tell you, firstly I want to talk about how we can wake up early in the morning. Secondly, I want to talk about how you can make yourself how you can make your work optimized. Thirdly, I want to talk about how you can keep yourself healthier. Fourthly, I want to talk about, so you can't repeat the same word I want to talk about, but fourthly, how to keep working out every day. So did you see how, without actually see, waking up early is a different thing, keeping yourself optimized is a different thing, working out regularly is a different thing, eating healthy is a different thing. But because I'm using the words firstly, secondly, thirdly, fourthly, your brain is actually functioning in a way where you are trying to find a connection between each one of it, right? You know that all the four of them are under the topic habits. So try using the transition words to move from one topic to another topic. Okay, so because in this question you have sub questions, right? Under the main question we had like 4 sub questions. So when you're moving from one question to other question, you can use a sentence like turning to the next question. If you can use that, right? Suppose if we talk about the same book that we were discussing earlier, first you describe about the name, and turning to the next question, if I have to talk about the book, then I expand on the topics that are inside the book. Or moving on to the question 3 is another sentence we can use, as for question 3. So look at the transitioning. Okay, between firstly, secondly, thirdly, fourthly, if I want to, I can use firstly, turning to the next question, moving on to the question 3 as of question 4. See, I tried using different sentence, different transition word while transitioning from one question to another question. So this will show my authority over the English language to use different transition words while transitioning from one sentence to another sentence. Isn't it great? Like you can just learn few words, and if you learn confidently how to speak about them, you are ready to go. Okay, you can also give, if you want to, if you have already spoken about a point, like suppose if I talk, Atomic Habits book is also gonna help us figure out a way to work out every day. Furthermore, working out every day will not only make us fitter, but it also keeps us healthier. So here I'm trying to add another point. So the sentences such as what's more, furthermore, moreover can be used to elaborate on a topic already that you're talking about, to expand on it. Okay, so these words, these familiar words, these transition words are the ones which are going to give you some extra score. Get a command on them, practice them as much as possible, try using them on your everyday conversation to make sure that you remember them. Okay, and always, so this is a good way of ending. Finally, so a point that you want to add in the end, finally, uh, I would recommend this book to others because it has helped me a lot, right? It cannot, the sentences doesn't have to be overly complicated, because we are not writing an academic paper here, we are having a conversation, we're trying to speak. Okay, so the sentences can be easy, but there should be complex sentences where you're trying to add one or two sentences. Okay, the transition sentences or the words that you are using to connect, okay, or synonyms of the words, like you can, instead of using very multiple times, you could use something else, right? If instead of using very beautiful, I can just still choose gorgeous, right? You are trying to show your authority over your English. If you forgot to mention about something important but would like to mention it in the end, you can also use one more thing I'd like to add, or one more thing I'd like to talk about. So like whenever you think that, okay, I would like to add another point about why you need to read books over the to improve yourself. See, after you have completed 3 to 4 points, and you can also add a fifth point, and using this sentence to connect it will also help you better. Okay, now let's look at something called as question triggers. What are question triggers? So here, what if you look at this question, if you see, the first example says, how did you first hear of this book? How did you first hear of this book? Which is, this question is talking about the past. When, what did you hear of this book? How did you speak to somebody, or somebody told you, or you read about it somewhere, or you were searching about some books to read? But everything is in the past, right? This has happened in the past. You heard about the book in the past. So your answer should also be, yes, I heard this book from one of my friends. So this is also past instant that you're talking about. So when your question is talking about the past, your answer should also be talking about the past. Okay. And the second question, will you read a similar book? So this is a question about the future. So I would like to read a similar. So here you're also talking about future. You cannot talk about the past for this question. So if I ask you, will you read a similar book? You will be you cannot answer, I read a similar book in the past, right? It doesn't go with the question. This question is about the future, so you need to try talking about the future. Okay, now let's look at the third question. How long have you been doing something? Okay, so this is past continuous, like how long have you been doing something. This is about something that has started in the past and is continuing. Okay, yes. So what I'm trying to tell is, fine, you have to understand what the question is talking about. Is it past, or is it present, or is it future? And then you try to explain about it the same form. Okay, now, okay, so now I will discuss about few questions based on the question type. Let's try answering. Okay, the first one says, how did you first hear of this book? Okay, because the did is in past, you can answer it in any of the four ways mentioned below. First one is post simple, sorry, past simple, past continuous, or past perfect. Okay, so let's try seeing an example of this to understand how we can answer. Okay, so how did you first hear of it? So the first time I heard of this book was on podcast. See, I heard of this book. This is okay, you're talking about past simple here. I heard of this book. You heard it in the past, right? So the first time I heard of this book was on a podcast where two people were talking. See, were talking is again past continuous. So were talking about the most influential books that they have ever read. Okay, ever read is again past. Even though I hadn't heard past tense, see, of Dr. Feynman then. The way they talked, again past tense, about the him was amazing. Okay, so as soon as I finished listening to the podcast, I went straight to the bookstore to buy book. Did you see? We answered everything in either past simple or past continuous or past perfect. So these are question triggers. You, from the question itself, you will be judged on what form of grammar are you using. Is it a past, or is it a present, or is it a future sense? Cool. Now let's look at the other one, which is, will you read a similar book? Okay, will you read a similar book? So this is a question for the future. So how can you answer this question? You can use any of the following topics, such as will, going to, present continuous, future perfect, future continuous. Now let's try looking at an answer. Okay, so how long have you been doing something? So this is about perfect sentences. How long have you been doing something? So something that has been started in the past and is going on. So in this case, you don't care when it is started, but you are talking about it in the present. Okay, yes. So action that is started in the past and it is ongoing. Another question, would you recommend this book? So would you, it could be an yes or no. It's a hypothetical question. So when you come across an hypothetical question, you should know, yes, I would recommend it to, or if I like this book, I would recommend. You can also use if sentences. If I like this book, I would recommend. Okay, if I find people who would be interested in this genre, I would recommend, right? So there are hypothetical questions which you have to understand from the context and answer them accordingly. Now, so why do you like this kind of book? You have to elaborate on this. Like, you can see, these are opinionated questions. They are trying to get your opinion, understand the question type. What did you like or dislike about this book? So here they're trying to get your opinion. So you can use this particular opinionated introduction sentence, such as, in my opinion, the points used in this particular book talk a lot about human psychology, or from the point of view, or as far as I'm concerned. So there are other opinionated statements too that you should know. Guys, you might think this is too much, but from for each question type, if you understand what kind of question it is and what tense the question is it, and if you try answering exactly without missing out on the tense, you would be able to score better. Okay, now, so this is a first practice question. We have spoken about everything, how to start, okay, how to elaborate about it, how to connect multiple sentences using your connection words, and then how to even end using certain phrases such as finally, or if I would like to add something in there. So let's try solving this now. Okay, Let's talk about a scenario. I'll give you one topic and we'll try answering each one of your sentences, and then I'll try to make them better for you. Okay? Come on. Talk about a gift that you gave someone recently. I want you guys to put it in the chat box. Think about it. Use this time to what else you can talk about it. Okay? Yes. Talk about a gift that you gave someone recently. Yes, this is a question in the past. Okay? This is about a thing that has happened in the past. What was it? How would you answer this and how would you elaborate about it? Okay, what was it? Come on, try. Okay, that is a good answer, but how would you elaborate on it? Okay, I just why did you give, see, what was it? But we just don't want to what they asked, right? We want to elaborate on it. Come on, try. Let me give an example. Okay, I gave chocolates to my sister on one of her Indian festivals called Raksha Bandhan. Right here, I'm trying to elaborate, telling what Raksha Bandhan is. Elaborate, right? Or I can say I gave chocolates to my sister on one of her Indian festivals called Raksha Bandhan, where the festival is about celebrating how a brother protects her sister, right? So you are, because you're talking about it, and you also keep remembering that when you're talking about a scenario of you being in India, okay, if you are talking about a situation where you might have to explain what is written in it to someone externally or someone who doesn't come from India, then you can use that as an option to elaborate on it, right? Isn't that great? This will give you a better option to elaborate on it. Now, okay, so this can also be improved. I'll give you another example. I really like the answers that are coming, but I think they can be elaborated. I think they can be a little more can be added to it. Okay, so the gift I gave to my friend is a wristwatch on the occasion of her birthday because she has the habit of collecting wristwatches, or she is obsessed about wristwatches, right? So adding another point to it, uh, that is very important. Now let's look at the second question. Okay, who did you give it to? Okay, you already answered this in the first one. Now you should not take a step back. Try answering it again with a different addition to the sentences that you have told. Who did you give it to? It's okay. See, every question might be interrelated to the other question, but try repeating this topic that you have used in the first question and add some other additions to it. Okay. Now here you can tell that I gave chocolates especially to my sister because she's very good at baking and she loves exploring making chocolates from the cocoa, right? So here I'm again telling that I gave chocolates to my sister because I'm also expanding on it, because she loves making chocolates and has explored many, right? Yeah, so you can also use sentences like that, right? You have more ideas, guys? Now let's look at the other one, what we can do. How did you give it to this person? Sorry, why did you give it to this person? Now, again, we have already answered this, but we cannot take a step back. We will again answer about this question now. Come on, let's talk about the same topic. Why did you give it to this person? Okay. So I can say, I especially, okay, especially I gave a wristwatch because she's approaching her examinations and I want to motivate her, telling that time is important at this time and she needs to focus on her examinations. See, you already gave her because she likes watches, but here you can also give another example, right? Because there can be multiple reasons why you might have chosen a particular gift to give it to your friends. If I have to stick to the previous question, yes, as I mentioned earlier, I gave chocolates to my sister because she has a unique liking towards the chocolates, and that makes her really happy, right? So yeah, I really like the examples that you're coming up with to attach the sentences. Now, the fourth one, let's try solving it. How did it make you feel? Here, this is about something that you need to talk about yourself, but you should not get distracted from the topic. Come on, try. Easy, guys. We've already spoken a lot about this. Come on, try. Yeah. If you have to say, so yeah, you can talk. Yes, you can say, moreover, this more. So you can also use some sentences. Moreover, gifting a watch to her made me realize that I exactly know what she likes, and I really like the feeling of uh, uh, giving a gift, right? You can also talk about uh, uh, sharing chocolates with my sister made me feel how we have been growing up and the years of relationship that we had behind us, right? So you can talk about anything here on the spot, whatever might come to your mind. Try elaborating on it, try attaching sentences in your mind and elaborating on it. Okay, cool. If you have to talk about the same what scenario, I felt is the way you are expressing in an opinion. In my opinion, watches make us be stuck on the time, or keep us on our feet to make sure that we are following the time things on time, right? So uh, it has made me feel responsible of my friend's time. So yes, it's a good way of adding your opinion in this particular question. Now let's look at the demo answer here. Okay, I recently gave. Look at this, guys. Recently, we have added this adverb here, telling how recent it is. Right. So I recently gave my younger brother a book as a graduation gift. The book is titled "How to Earn the World," and it's on the topic of personal finance and investing. Here we're also talking about what kind of topic, or here you can also mention what kind of what's the brand of the watch. Okay, it's a Titan watch. Or you can talk about, I have given her Hershey's chocolates because they were and I have sourced it from USA especially for her because she really likes them. Got it? You can also elaborate, think of certain ways of expanding it, like you talk about a particular topic and then you try ways to expand on it by talking about the brand, or by talking about the color, or by talking about the specifications of the gift, or by talking about how you have thrift wrapped it. These are some 3 points that I just recollected that you can talk about, is how you can expand on them. Okay, now why did you give it to this person? So here I'm telling that the reason I gave this to my younger brother. See, even in the first question I already mentioned that I gave my gift to my younger brother. Okay, but in the second question, when the same question is repeated, I'm again answering that, because in a conversation you repeat words. In writing you might not, but in conversation, when you're speaking, you repeat words. Okay, so the reason I gave this to my younger brother is because it's a book that I wish I had read earlier in my life. The book simply guides you on the best and safest ways to invest your money, and one of the key points is to start investing as early as possible. So that's why I gifted this book to my younger brother. And see, again, I'm using the sentence, that's why I gifted this book to my younger brother. So it's okay to reuse, but reframe them, as he's only 21 years old and just about to start his first job. Now, how did it make you feel? Okay, so look at the transitional statement that was used. Okay, moving on to the next question. To be honest, I felt quite proud to have been able to share this book with my brother, because I honestly think it will improve his life, financially speaking, which of course is really important. And I also felt a little bit jealous. He's about 10 years younger than I am, and I wish I could go back in time and read this book and start investing my money sensibly at 21 years old. So yeah, that's a gift that I have given to someone recently. Look at this way of using so yeah, right? This is a conversational word that we use, and he's about 10 years younger than us. So when you look at the question, think as if another person is sitting in front of you and asking these questions, and have an easygoing conversation. Okay, don't get worried in reusing the sentences, and try mentioning details such as I felt a little bit jealous, 10 years younger. Okay, or you can also add synonyms such as to improve his life financially speaking. Okay, so to be honest, we use the sentence to be honest, or I'm scared, or I wish, so all these are telling his opinion. See, uh, I felt quite proud, so this is his opinion that he felt proud. Okay, I honestly think is an opinion of his. And I felt a little bit jealous. Again, it is a self what he's feeling, and I wish I could go back again. So, and I have, so if you see, when most or in most of the questions, the fourth question is going to be about you, where you can try using your opinions in closing the conversation, and the best way to close any question is by using your opinions. Okay, cool. Now, do you want to do the second question too, guys? Give me a quick thumbs up. Do you want to try this? If not, we'll be ending the session. Okay, cool. Because as this is the last question of the topics of all the question types, I would want to discuss this question too, as because it is one of the toughest questions of Duolingo. So, describe something you do to forget about work or study. What is the activity? Come on, talk about this. What, choose a topic that you would like to talk about here and try answering about it. Come on, try and look at the follow-up questions. So here, describe something you do to forget. So here already we'll be talking about the topic. And again, they're asking what is the activity, which means if you tell you what do you do, you work out. So then you will talk about what is the activity. So what kind of workout do you do on like, is it a cardio based workout, or is it a weight based workout, or it's swimming, or it's dancing, whatever. Okay, and how often do it. So you can talk about how weekly do you do it, or how many times you do in a week, or which time, at which time of the day do you do it, uh, and how do you feel about it. So if you work out, how would you feel post the session, and how did it help you forget. So working out at that particular time of the day helps me focus on internally, and forget everything else around me. So it helps to channelize my energy, and energizes me for the rest of the day, right? So you can just talk about the topic, think about it, and elaborate. Now let's look at the sample answer here. Okay, I would like to talk about horse riding, which has been my hobby since I was around 10 years old. I'm actually the joint owner of a horse with two of my friends, and we take turns looking after him, cleaning the stable, and so on. I don't have a part time job, so I spend most of my weekends at the stable. Taking care of a horse is quite dirty business, so it's obviously very different from studying at college. That means I can forget about my classes during the week when I'm at the stable on the weekend. So there's quite a large field next to the stable, and I just get a wonderful sense of freedom when I'm riding around on my horse. So college seems a million miles away when I'm riding. Do I think other people would enjoy horse riding? Yes, absolutely. See how he self questioned himself while answering? You can do that. Do you think I enjoy working out? No, I don't, but I do it because my body needs it. I need to take care of it, right? You can self question yourself during the conversation, and you can answer it because you're just speaking. And I think everyone should give it a try. Horses are absolutely wonderful animals. They're very gentle and intelligent. If you have ever the chance to ride a horse, you should definitely give it a try. See, here in the last, again, he's using his opinions, such as they're very gentle and intelligent. If you ever have the chance to ride, he's also giving you a suggestion here. You can do that. right? So there are many ways of speaking, guys. That's what, if you understand what we usually do on a daily basis when we are talking about a certain topic, it will make it all easier. Okay, cool. Yes, if you have any doubts now, then we'll talk about it. Otherwise, we'll meet tomorrow and we will be discussing all the question types that we have discussed this week. Any doubts, you can post it on the group. Any doubts, you can post it on the chat box and I'll be here for the next 5 minutes to help you out. Okay, you can post it in the chat box and I shall try resolving it. Cool. What do you mean? Like, you mean during the recording? Like when you're recording? No, it is not. You are given 20 seconds to read the question in your mind and frame an answer in your mind. Okay. So in your recording, you will directly start answering your question. You will not be reading it. You can, if you want, you can say, and moving forward to the second question, and you can answer about it. So you don't have to read the second question while talking. Moving on to the second question, and if I have to talk about who wrote the book, you can expand on it. Cool. Yes. Anything else? Okay. Cool, guys.